And we're good.
Sweet.
All right.
Sweet.
All right, brother. Welcome to the Thorn 2-pack. I'm Thorn Brewing Company's General Manager, Tom Kiely. And with me always, my lovely assistant,
Taylor Michael Allen, Sales Director for Thorn.
Someday you'll be upgraded to co-host.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I just really like assistant. It works really well for me.
My minion. Peon. Do my bidding.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, especially with all this pumping you've been doing.
Bro, I had to get a little pumping.
I know. I should be assisting you. I should be
That's what I'm saying.
spotting, although I believe no spotting right now with COVID restrictions, right?
Breathing on your face as I'm working out.
Well, you're the most tested guy in COVID. No one's passed more tests than you.
I'm going for test number 5 this week, I think.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Good for you. Dude, so before your time, back in 2016, we did a terpene-infused IPA. We called it OG IPA.
Right.
We did it for a little bit, and then it turns out we couldn't do it anymore, so we had to stop.
Reason why?
Cannabis terpenes, which are just like the flavors and aromas from the cannabis plant. I mean, they occur in every plant. Yeah. But specifically the ones in cannabis, it smells and tastes like cannabis, but it has none of the psychoactive properties. Right. So they isolate the THC, they isolate the CBD, and then you just left flavor and aroma.
Got it.
So we just took those flavors and aromas and added it to an IPA. Technically, that's illegal because it's cannabis is a Schedule I substance. So every part of it, anything that you extract from it is also part of a Schedule I substance.
Right.
Even if it's not the very thing that makes it illegal, it is part of that substance, right?
Right.
So we've been trying to find loopholes to be able to find a way to do it. I think we found one.
Ooh.
So actually we found it like a year ago, but we didn't have, there was like an extra step in order to get the loophole recognized by the government in order to approve it as an ingredient in the beer.
Got it.
So actually I found, we've had, throughout the years, we had 3 different potential cans.
Look at that transition.
I know, right? I got to create scenes, dude. We'll make this pretty or something.
Yeah.
So the one all the way to your right, you see it? It kind of looks like the striped cans.
Yep.
That was actually, so that was what all of our cans were going to look like initially.
Yeah.
Where they're going to have those stripes through them.
Yeah.
So every time Dennis ever says to me, like, eventually you'll see it my way. Or like, I always end up being right. This is always the one I point to him. Like, hey, dude, remember when you want our cans to have those stripes in them? That's my one. That's the best one I got. So that was in theme with what all of our cans are going to look like. But as you can tell on that one and the one to the far side that says American Gangsta, both have the same color scheme, right? So obviously going for like a Rasta thing. It's a little appropriate-y for me. Yeah. So it's not something I think I'd feel comfortable rolling with. I tried to find a way to justify it. Like, cannabis is actually part of Rastafarian culture, but, like, we're not Rastafarian. No. So it's like, clearly just do it because it's... But we also couldn't use the name OG IPA. We had tried, because it's a direct reference to cannabis. Yeah. So that's why I'm trying to find, like, what are other references that the employee at the TTB wouldn't know, but that the most other people would.
You a cop?
Yeah, that was right. You like that? Dennis hated that. He hated that so bad.
That is such a funny name for it.
That would be great if we could pass that one. Ultimately, I think, so, we're changing all of our cans, right. The design, but the color scheme would at least be the same with it would be like gold and white. Well, that'd be at least be the first one. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah. I love the idea. I mean, like I said, it's one of the things that we've been kind of focusing on, like new and unique offerings, and I think this fills, that void, right? And
it'd be sick. Get a good crossfade going.
Yeah, I get super stoned off the beer, the terpenes.
That'd be sick. People are like, dude, I feel high. Like, well.
I don't know if you ever watched the show. What is it? They cook. It's on Vice, but it's like they cook with weed, and the dude's always like, "Gotta add more terpenes, man, more terpenes."
I've heard of it, but no, I've never seen it.
It's funny.
I believe it is.
The way he says terpenes. Terpenes.
I know. Also, terpenes is one of those words like no one fucking knows what terpenes mean. No. I only know what terpenes mean because we were trying so hard to find like a way around to try to use them that we had to learn the lingo. Yeah. And plus to talk to people about it. Yeah. And it's like, how do you explain what it is? It's like you had to learn the word terpene. Yeah. I wanted to go, and I think I asked you, I wanted to use 710 because 710 is oil upside down. and that's like the new 420.
Yeah.
But I only learned that from my buddy Kana, who is like cannabis is his crutch. He requires it to get by. Look at Frankie's hair.
Yeah, I know.
And he like lives and breathes it. And so July 10th is, from what I understand, the January, February, March, April 20th of like real hardcore burners. Dude, my old roommate when I lived in PV, he used to do hash oil.
Yeah.
Dude, when you need a blowtorch, you're doing a real drug.
Freebasing pot.
Dude, I smoked. He used to make his own.
Yeah.
That was one thing. I'm like, hey guys, it's one thing. If you guys want to go like
Smoke
sell
a bowl,
pot,
yeah.
deliver pot, do whatever you want, but you're gonna go fucking make it in the garage too.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't want to wake up with like a red dot in the center of my forehead. You know, like
Totally.
SWAT kicking in my bathroom door.
I remember it was like a huge thing because like I smoked from time to time. I remember like it was like a phase for like a year or two where like all my friends were just doing wax and just oil burner torch, and I'm like, this is too fucking
It's
intense.
aggressive. Dude, I smoked the pot that he used to make it, and I couldn't. I had to go lay in bed. I was so fucked up. And he used to do it just to like get to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude.
My buddy had his little rig in his center console, and he would just like whip out this little mini rig and just burn it with the torch. I'm like, bro,
wait, like the electric, the lighter, the electric lighter in the car,
like a little mini torch.
Oh
like,
yeah,
with this little thing. I'm like, bro, that's when you're whipping out a little mini.
It's aggressive.
Rig out of the center console, like not just like a pipe out of the glove box. I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, dude, Mike, he had a full. It was a torch. It was actually like a propane tank with like a hose that would go up to the actual light. He just like walk out dragging it like he's Linus. Oh, dude, it was nuts.
So sketch. So sketch.
Well, anyways, I'm hoping we figure this out. This is what Eric's working on right now, so I'm hoping that we can finally slam dunk this terpene thing and get one out there.
I'm into it. I'll start thinking about names.
Cool. 710 ain't gonna cut it. Plus, also, it's gonna be like no one knows what it is.
I mean, you asked me, and I didn't even know. And I was like, I've never heard of that before in my life.
More pot than I do. And Epic has like was it 7:45 to Denver or something?
10:45 to Denver.
10:45. Oh, that's not bad then.
No.
I thought it was 7:40. 10. Okay, we could do that. No, but again, not that it matters because no one's gonna know what it means. You see, Stone sent a cease and desist to a brewery called Sawstone.
No.
Interesting. So here's
give me some background on
this. So here's the deal. So Stone is in a legal battle with Miller Coors
still
over Keystone.
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't they like counter sue or whatever?
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on. So that's still going on. Now since then, Stone has now sent cease and desist to Sawstone, saying that it uses their name Stone, which is part of their trademark. Right. So apparently in that case with Miller Coors, they said there are other breweries that have the word Stone in it, and Stone hasn't gone after them.
Yeah.
So allegedly, rumor has it that might have been what triggered them to be like, okay, in order for our case to hold up against Miller Coors, we have to send this out to these breweries and other breweries that use the word Stone in their name. So here's my stance.
Right.
I get it why they have to send the letter.
Right.
Because if they don't, like, not only can the Keystone thing falter, but they could potentially lose their opportunity to defend their trademark if anyone did something more egregious.
Right.
Like used the gargoyle or like just called it Stone or Stony or something that was a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
So they have to show that they're defending the trademark. So I don't mind the letter. If it stops at the letter, I say fair game.
Yeah.
However, if it continues and they really go after this little brewery that isn't going to be able to defend itself because they're probably not going to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Also that they can like sue Keystone, which let's get real.
Well,
I don't mind them doing it.
I don't mind them doing it, but
go for it. I mean, fuck Miller Coors. I don't mind. Yeah. But like, if all these other, I think there's like 6 other breweries or something that were listed in the Miller Coors. If they all have to go down in order for this
to go through,
which again, I feel like nobody's. I don't think it has anything to do with Stone. I don't blame them for defending it.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't want these other guys to have to be collateral damage.
100%. Yeah, and it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, dude, I didn't start this fucking war.
But dude, I've had to send email. So what they taught us in like when you go to like a CCBA conference is like, all right, the first thing is like document everything. You have to show that you're actively trying to defend. So Iron Fist came out with a Barrio something lager. It wasn't exactly Barrio lager, but it had Barrio and it had lager in it. And they're fucking right down the street.
Right.
They had the tasting room. So I was like, I was like, okay, I have to document that I told them that, hey, we already have this beer, first use, blah blah blah.
Right.
And they were like, it's only a limited release. We're only doing a handful of cases. And I'm like, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
But I had to have that email that
100%.
showed I tried.
Yeah.
And if they were like, no, we're doing this all the time, and it's going to be in grocery stores,
yeah.
then we would have been put in a position where like they eventually maybe could have sued us or something, right?
Yeah,
so it gets like a little muddy.
Yeah, you gotta back yourself up, defend.
Yeah, but like you also,
it's
like you want to be like collaborative, especially in like craft beer. Like it's, I think part of like the integrity of the culture is that like you don't go after each other and that like rising tide floats all boats and you work together. But
100%.
you have to protect the business. So I understand the struggle, but I hope it's in the right place and it doesn't go too far. And
yeah, totally.
That's
like I said. I thought from the very beginning that battle that they picked was, I mean, I agree with it. Fuck yeah. If you can take down Miller Coors, take some money from them, I'm all for it. But I was like, oof, you're barking up a big tree. Like,
yeah.
That's
well, that's the thing. It's like, here's the thing. We can't sue Miller Coors. We don't have the money.
No.
Stone is one of like 50 craft breweries maybe that has enough money to even try.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Yeah,
Fuck Miller Coors. Right? And I hope they win. I just hope these other breweries don't have to
suffer because of
go out of business or change the name,
yeah.
which could be expensive as well. I saw, so there was some Neilson data. So they collect all the grocery store data, like who's buying what.
Yep.
And they also send out surveys. And it's like people, so they said it's how often, one of the questions is how frequently do you drink craft beer? Now they could define craft any way they wanted. They could define it as Shock Top or Elysian or only independent. It was up to them. And they didn't have to explicitly state what it is. And so there's always been this category of weekly craft beer drinker, and that's someone that drinks craft beer every single week. I've always read that as being the most diehard craft beer fan.
Right.
And it's like they love craft beer, they only drink craft beer, blah, blah, blah. In this survey, what they found is the weekly craft beer drinker is actually the most promiscuous consumer, and they drink everything.
Yeah.
They drink seltzer, they drink booze, they drink wine. And then I'm like, oh, that makes sense. They're not just diehard craft beer fans, they're alcoholics.
Yeah.
They'll drink anything. It didn't even dawn on me until I'm reading that thing. I'm like, oh, motherfuckers. I thought that they were
just trying to booze.
I thought they were like holding the flag, leading the charge. Just looking to get a buzz going.
I don't drink anything but local craft IPAs. Not the case.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
No. I mean, I feel like I fall in that category of like I'm a weekly craft beer drinker, but I drink seltzers, I drink tequila. So I'm alcoholic.
Yeah, fair enough. You party.
Why not? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I won't. I'm trying to think what else I drink. I don't drink hot. Like again, I'll drink anything that's ours because like I get it for free.
Yeah.
So like I drink whatever's in the fridge, and that's the only stuff. I just don't really drink at home.
Yeah.
And so I don't drink that much more than beer. I'm down for booze. I'll drink wine. It's very infrequent. It's probably like maybe once a month, probably less than that.
I'm kind of a wine guy. I like wine.
Yeah, you're a wino?
Yeah, I'm a wino.
Between when I graduated college and when I started my first full-time job, there was like a 3-month window.
Yeah.
And me and some of my buddies, we were I would eat like a pizza and drink a box of wine like every day for 3 months. I gained like 30 pounds. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
My dad once told me, hey, I was still living at home. My dad's like, get in the car. I'm like, all right, fine. I thought I had to go do an errand. We just like pull up to the beach. I'm like, this is weird. What's going on? And we just start like walking down. I'm like, where are we going? He goes, you'll know when we get there. I'm like, okay. So we get like to the end and then just turn around and go back. And I'm like, we see somebody he knew. I'm like, are we just meeting some random person here at the beach? It's kind of weird. Are you selling me off as like a sex thing, Dad? Trying to get me to have sex with your buddies? And then we get back to the car and go in and drive home. I'm like, what was that? He goes, you need some exercise. My dad took me for a walk.
He's like, he doesn't need a pet dog.
Yeah,
He's got you. We gotta get you out there. We gotta let the sunlight see that skin.
You ain't gonna lose weight on your own, pal.
Oh my God.
Dude. So I'm like, Twitter's my new social media platform of choice. Right. So I'm there's this beer writer out of England that I like, and he made a comment based on there's a like a little ma and pa kind of niche craft beer bottle shop, like a Vine and Vine type.
Yep.
That's going out of business back in England. And within the context of that, he was saying if I hear someone say that grocery stores are part of the industry or grocery stores are good for the industry, like I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
And I thought that brought up an interesting question because I had seen it before where I remember someone from, I don't know, they worked at like Whole Foods or something. They had inquired about whether or not they have access to industry discounts, and it created a dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think people that were not in distribution, like especially like brewers or bartenders, were like, hell no, you're not. But then people that sold beer were like, well, yeah, they kind of are. I mean, Whole Foods sells a ton of beer.
Craft beer, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you, in your opinion, A, are grocery stores part of the industry? And B, do you think they're good for it?
You know, it honestly depends. And it's like, you want to talk shit on the big guys like Vons, Albertsons, these guys. But I mean, they really have adapted their offerings to include craft. You know what I mean? Like a Latitude, if I hadn't gotten a bunch of the blood orange placements, then, you know, we wouldn't have been to the size that we were. You know what I mean? So it's that one kind of, you know, dabbles the line there. But like Whole Foods, I mean, they're so craft centric. All of their guys know, they're educated, they know about craft beer. Like I would consider like a Whole Foods, Barron's, Lazy Acres, anything like that, like a craft. I mean, you think about it, everything they do there is technically craft, a lot of local stuff. So, I mean, I don't know, it's hard.
So independent grocery?
I would say independent grocery.
You'd include?
I would include.
Everyone at the store or just the people that work in the department? If there was a way where you could legitimately know.
That's a tough one. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. If we're saying industry, right? Not good or bad, just industry. If you work, I think, in the beer department of a Whole Foods,
yeah,
I would say you're industry.
100%. Yeah. The whole store, that's...
Yeah, the produce guy is an industry.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean him a bad guy,
yeah.
but I wouldn't call him industry.
He ain't selling beer for me, is what it is.
He ain't selling beer.
No, you know what I mean?
Now, as for like what's good for craft beer, like our grocery store is good. That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I mean, you got to keep in mind, like these big buyers for some of these bigger non-independents or whatever, they got to fill they got to fill it with stuff that's going to sell through, right? And let's just get serious. I mean, Anheuser-Busch and Coors make up a majority of beer sales. So it's like, and White Claws, right? So it's like, you have to carry it.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Okay.
Now, do they make up a majority of these sales? Do people buy it because they make up a majority of sales? Or do they make up a majority of sales because they have control in these places where people make these purchases?
Chicken before the egg and the egg before the chicken type of thing?
Well, I meant, look at where you see it an abundance of Bud Miller Coors stuff. It's all in really high volume areas, right? Grocery stores or like large, music venues. I don't know. You pick a place.
Right.
They spend a lot of money
to put it in front of you.
They don't spend a lot of money to have it in places where people do all this consuming, and I think that helps inflate their numbers.
Yeah.
And then they create all the sets for these grocery stores, so they're shoving all their shit in there. They're driving up their own rate of sales. Like the only reason
True.
Why should we shouldn't really know, maybe you and I, the average consumer in San Diego, like craft beer consumer, probably shouldn't know Elysian.
Yeah.
But of course they do because it's shoved into every grocery set down there because they're owned by Budweiser, right? That placement should be going to a local regional, I don't know, maybe a Thorn Brewing company.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that grocery stores, they're not in and of themselves good or bad. It's like a tool. You can use it for good. You can use it for evil.
Yeah.
I think when grocery stores allow a Miller or Bud distributor to actually create their shelf sets and they make the choices, they are not helping.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I am with you. Like I think Barron's helps.
Yeah.
I think Whole Foods helps.
Jimbo's.
Yeah. I think Vons is helping more than it used to.
Yeah, I agree.
I still think overall they have a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they're definitely doing more than they used to.
I agree.
And the more that they do, the more craft beer they carry, or craft anything, the better it is for all of us.
True.
And they'll be even more of a help. But as long as Bud Miller Coors have just such a massive presence, then I think they actually kind of hurt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel you on that.
All right, God bless. Did you see, dude? So the big, there's a big break in the Epstein saga. So Jeffrey Epstein, his lady, Ghislaine Maxwell, is going to court over the shit that her and Epstein did with all child molestation.
Yep.
And like a side case is Epstein and his bank, Deutsche Bank. apparently now when you make certain transactions or open certain types of accounts as a bank or a credit union, you're supposed to submit that information to the government.
Right.
And it's like if you do more than like $10,000 of worth of transactions in a day, and it's like a bunch of shit like that.
Yeah.
Or if you have a reason for like concern or suspicion, you're supposed to submit it. That's that's a law, right? So this case is suggesting that Deutsche Bank didn't submit along of these suspicious activities, and for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
So the judge in that case just switched 4 days ago, and then I believe it was last night, someone dressed up as a FedEx person and shot and murdered the judge's husband and shot the judge's kid. The kid didn't die. I've heard a rumor that she was in the house, but luckily was like in the basement, or wasn't there at all. There's some weird reason why she wasn't around. It's also possible that they just wanted to scare her and like kill her family or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, this
Dark,
is
dude.
wild.
Yeah, that's some dark, sketchy shit.
This is too much. I just can't. It's too convenient. It's all too convenient.
Yeah.
Epstein killing himself. This shit. It's way too convenient.
Yep. I mean,
stop passing the sniff test.
It's one of those things everyone knows. There's some sketchy shit going on, right?
You know what I think that here should be the deal. You ready for this?
Bring it.
Every time someone like this gets killed, like a judge or a key witness or judge's family, whatever, one of the guys on that Epstein black book list, like Bill Clinton or Prince Henry, someone should kill them. Ain't gonna be me. I'm not telling anyone to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not inciting a riot or hiring anybody.
Yeah.
But
come back at him.
1 for 1.
1 for 1.
Yeah. It's only right.
I feel that. Why not, dude? I mean, yeah, like you said, something doesn't smell right here, right?
No, it's got a big stink to it.
Yeah, it's super sketch. I'm curious to how it unfolds out. Nothing else happens though. Jesus.
It's so weird because we all everyone knows to expect it.
Yeah.
And it still happens.
Yeah.
It's fucking sketchy.
It's sketchy, dude. Super sketchy.
So someone needs to send a message that we ain't gonna take it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not gonna be me. We got who do we know that has nothing to lose? Let's have them do it.
Yeah. Put it back on them.
Yeah. I own 40% of a house. I got to keep making payments, and that can't be me. I
your-
can't do that
that's your
from the clink.
justification.
Yeah. Guys, I got these bills.
I gotta pay my bills,
What, want me
man.
to saddle my girlfriend with mortgage? Come on, I'm not going to do that.
You're better than that.
Oh, she's already paying 60%. You want to pay 100? Come on. Also, dude, the other day you were like, "Hey, we should." My buddy was like, "I want to do an energy drink beer."
Yeah.
And
I'm into it.
I just saw today that Evil Twin.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's preface this.
Yeah, go.
You laughed in my face when I brought it up.
Correct.
Yeah, you told me that was the stupidest idea ever.
Uh-huh.
You said, isn't that illegal? And I said, yeah, probably. But I was like, imagine add some ginseng to it, kind of give it like a Red Bully, whatever. And it looks like I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah, this is the
What do you
Evil
know?
Twin one. It's a sour ale brewed with milk sugar and energy drink syrup. Tastes just like a Red Bull with a touch of tartness. That's disgusting.
Hey,
Now,
at least.
well,
it
so
was
hear
good.
me out. So I admire the inventionists, right? I'm down. If you can make anything taste good, use legit ingredients. Is energy drink syrup a legit ingredient? I question that. But
A little
actually,
sketch.
I went to, I think it was a CCBA conference, and Garrett Oliver spoke. Do you know Garrett Oliver? He was the brewmaster at Brooklyn Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably like the smartest guy in beer. Like the smartest regularly available guy that anytime I've heard him speak, it's just like he's not only is he's well read, so he's a smart guy, but he's also really experienced in the industry, and on top of both those things, he's curious. So he has really interesting opinions on things. So he was talking about what are they called? The adjunct lagers. What are they called?
Adjunct lagers.
Yeah, they're like pastry stouts.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, I remember when, craft beer had this goal of helping people like get good ingredients in their beer.
Right.
Now we're just going back to the very thing we were created to fight against, which is just putting junk in people's beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a pretty good point.
It is a good point.
So is adding
The problem is
to...
the problem is these adjuncts and stuff. They've done such a good job at making them taste and smell like what you want to experience, and so it's like it's hard because these breweries are like, I'm gonna add tons and tons and tons of pineapple, and you get no fucking pineapple flavor, or I can add 3 drops of this extract.
Yeah, so I think
it's like it makes it hard for these breweries to justify spending thousands of dollars on quality ingredients.
So
when you have an easy way out, right?
I hear what you're saying, and so if we're just talking about the natural flavoring, right?
Right.
I'm still opposed to it, but whatever, I get it. There's a difference between that, which is the illusion of fruit, and then there is actual, like, junk food gonna kill you stuff like Twinkies. Just throwing 300 Twinkies in a beer. That's like, I think that's where his point makes a lot of sense. I think it's 2 separate arguments. The like putting Twinkies in the beer. Now that being said, we did one with a bunch of Count Chocula in it. Yeah. So like, it's not like we've never done one.
Yeah. What's your take on it? Do you feel like it needs to be? I mean, like, see, I like marshmallows in my beer, like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I have more respect. Right? I'm not going to say someone should or shouldn't do it. Right? If they want to do it, go for it. But I am not going to. I don't respect it. So I don't respect when you put a bunch of Twinkies in a beer.
Right.
I don't respect us putting a bunch of Count Chocula in a beer. You know.
Right.
That being said, if you can, like, use quality ingredients to create a like flavor profile that mimics something that is unhealthy. Like if you could make it taste like a Twinkie, but you actually used like
a sugar and
just like real like grain, like the grain blend and the yeast strain that just like creates that. Then I'm like,
I get what you're saying. Got it. So it's you don't want the unnatural, preservative filled junk, right?
Yeah,
I feel you.
Not to say I don't eat it, but I don't respect it. There's a lot of things that I do that I don't advocate other people do.
I think you need to come get a pump in with me, bro.
I think you're right.
Go take you for a walk on the beach. Put a leash on your ass.
That's what I need, dude. A pump and a walk.
A little pump and a walk.
Pump and a walk. That could be a daily routine.
Got you, brother. Don't you worry. We'll get that ass in shape.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
All right, dude. I got a buggy.
All right. Later.
God bless.